Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Social Life Vlogs. This is Lauren Anthony. I'm coming to you today to talk to you about a theme park here in Orlando, Florida. This video is going to be a review, so this is my personal opinion, my personal experience. Again, we all have different experiences in life, in places we visit, in theme parks, so I'm giving you my personal experience in SeaWorld during COVID-19 or coronavirus pandemic. SeaWorld recently opened up just a few weeks ago during the pandemic that we have here in the world. It's a worldwide pandemic, but here in the US. And I wanted to tell you what my experience was like since they just recently opened. Maybe you might be thinking about going. Maybe you don't want to go or aren't ready yet, but are just curious on what it's like, what is going on there. So I totally understand that as well, and I am here to tell you what I think, what my experience was. Now, I want to put this first and foremost because I am a big animal lover, an animal activist. I do not eat meat. I also try to, shed light on how we should be protecting and loving animals and being a voice for them, a voice that they do not have, and how we need to protect them from human impact. And that is something very close and near and dear to my heart. So that I just want to put first and foremost because I was skeptical about going because of things that I've heard, things that I've seen. And they have a lot of live animals there, mostly sea animals, animals that thrive and live in the ocean, in the sea, all over the world. And they are kept in smaller cages or smaller environments, however you want to put it, smaller habitats than their normal habitat in the wild would be. But I wanted to just put that out there first because I want to give you my opinion from somebody who already went in skeptical to kind of see what was really going on there for myself. And I thought that was important. And I will let you know first and foremost that going there, I did feel that the employees, the people that worked with the animals that were in each habitat area. So you went to go see the penguins in the Antarctica area. They have a whole area dedicated to Antarctica. They've modeled it to look like Antarctica, and they have penguins there. I've been to the real Antarctica myself. I've seen the penguins in the wild, so I do know their behaviors, what they look like. And there were employees of SeaWorld that were also in that habitat, and they are in every habitat or area, and they know about the animals. So when you go, you can also ask them about the animals. They were very friendly, very nice. You could tell that they really did care about the animals. I felt that it was a very overall good experience, much better than I even expected. I did see the animals happy. I felt that they were well taken care of. Most of them were a lot chubbier than the ones I saw in the wild. I mean, when I was in Antarctica alone, I saw the killer whale or the orcas for the more proper name. They're called both. But I saw those in the wild when I was in Antarctica. I saw many penguins. I saw sea lions. I saw fur seals. I saw pretty much in the wild from my travels. I've seen all the animals that they also had in SeaWorld. So I also have a good comparison as to what they are like in the wild and what they were like when we visited SeaWorld. So first and foremost, I just want to tell you that, the employees seemed very nice, very friendly. They seemed to really care and know a lot about the animals, about their habitat, and they were very easy to ask questions. We're very happy to answer those questions for you. And I do want to say that a lot of the animals at SeaWorld are rescues. So that made me feel a little better also going there, knowing that a lot of these animals that are there at SeaWorld, so not all of the animals are rescues, but a lot of them are. And that made me feel better about going there because they could not survive on their own in the wild in their natural habitat. So at least they're being taken care of and they're being, nursed back to health. They did tell us that the animals, They did tell us that their ultimate goal is to help animals that need to be rescued, that are in need of some medical attention or medical care, that wouldn't be able to survive on their own in the wild. Their ultimate goal is to take them, rehabilitate them, and then they release them back to the wild. So they do that with a lot of the manatees they have there. I've also seen manatees in the wild. I live in Florida. We have manatees everywhere. I grew up seeing manatees. I just saw manatees a few months ago here in a natural environment in a springs park here in Central Florida, where the manatees naturally live in the wild. So I can compare all the animals very easily. They all seemed very happy, all very well taken care of. Many of them were a little chubby, so you can tell they're feeding them good. Even when I was walking around, there was constantly food in their habitat, so you can see they were always being fed. They always had access to food. I felt like they really did care. I felt like the employees cared. I felt like SeaWorld itself cared. I saw little signs all around the park about recycling, about the rescue efforts, about what you can do as a guest, about your part, trying to educate guests that were visiting SeaWorld in recycling, in, protecting the animals, protecting the earth, protecting the world. That made me so happy to see. I'm also big in preserving the environment and helping it for the future generations, helping to keep it clean and, less plastic waste and less waste in general, and, just being more aware of the choices that we make. And I did feel like going through SeaWorld that they were very conscious and did a very good job at, reinforcing that and trying to teach the visitors as well. The animals were well taken care of. They all seemed very happy, from the manatees to the turtles to the penguins to the orcas or killer whales to the dolphins. I went in every habitat. I saw every animal. I even went to the shows just to really see what was going on. It's going to happen either way, whether I go or not. And I wanted to see what was really going on. And it gave me a good peace of mind, actually. I was pleasantly surprised how good it felt, knowing that they do take in a lot of rescues, they rehabilitate them, and then they release them back into the wild if they can. Made me feel really good. They're helping them. They would not survive if they were in the wild on their own. The animals that they take in and they try to rehabilitate but are just beyond going back to the wild. They can't go back to the wild for whatever reason, because they might not survive if they're put back into the wild on their own. They keep them and they give them a permanent home in SeaWorld. So to me, it seemed like they really do care. They are doing the best thing for the animal. They're taking care of them. They're feeding them well. They seemed all very happy. You can tell when an animal is stressed or when an animal is happy, just like people. And I truly feel that they were happy, every single one of them. The dolphins, the manatees, the turtles, the alligators, the orcas. From what I saw, the penguins, from what I saw, they did not act any different than what I saw them in the wild. They seemed even more happy, maybe, because they had unlimited food. It was easy access, and you could tell that the people that worked there truly cared. So that was really nice, and I just wanted to get that first and foremost out of the way. Some of the animals that were there that were not rescues were actually born there in the park. So these are wild animals. They were brought to the park for one reason or the other. Some of the animals I know were in a zoo, and the zoo closed down. So after being so long in not a natural habitat, sometimes it's even worse for an animal to get sent back to their natural habitat, because they can easily get killed. They've lost their sense of how to survive in this big wild world where there's many more predators than they would have if they were in somewhere like SeaWorld. So I know that that was another exception to why there were some animals there. Some of them are born there. They are mating there, the animals. They're happy and they reproduce. When animals are happy, they reproduce more, and they reproduce like crazy over there, what I was told from some of the girls working there, and you could see it. They had a lot of them. Babies were there. I saw baby seals, baby penguins. So that's a good sign. All those little things are good signs that the animals are happy, they're being well fed, the people seem very caring and nice. The SeaWorld itself had a lot of initiatives around the park to educate people that were visiting. So overall, I do think it was a really good experience. I think they're doing a good job, and it made me very happy. I got a good vibe, a good energy from being there, which is really good, especially coming from someone like me who was already skeptical going in and what I was going to see and what I was going to find. So I'm happy actually that I did that experience because I feel better about it. So again, you can't always judge a book by its cover, because going in there, I was a little bit not sure how I was going to feel. I actually fought going for a few weeks, and then I eventually said, you know what, it's good for me to see for myself. So sometimes you do need to experience and see how things really are, instead of just hearing or thinking things without really knowing and seeing it firsthand yourself. So yeah, that's how I feel as far as that goes when it comes to animal rights and all of those things. Something's very important to me. I do not work for SeaWorld. I was not paid to talk about this. I am just a normal person like you, and I am just somebody who wanted to go and see for myself. I thought it was actually very educational. I think if you have kids, it's cool to get them involved with seeing the animals, interacting with the animals. I think it creates a love and an appreciation, hopefully, which we all need for animals, for the future generations, for humans in general. We need more of that. We need more compassion, I think, towards animals. There's a lot of great people doing great things in the world that truly care about animals and speak up for them and fight for them, because they can't do it for themselves. They don't speak the same language as us, but they do have feelings. They have hearts, they have love, they feel sad or depressed. So it was very nice to see them in a happy, well-fed, good environment where they're reproducing, where they're enjoying life, where they have lots of friends and good caretakers as well. So as far as the park goes itself, I would say it wasn't completely full. We went on a Saturday. You would think that the weekends are busier, but according to my research, what I found on the internet, it's actually one of their least busiest days. So Saturday and Sunday, I would say Saturday a little less than Sunday, but very comparable as far as being busy. So we went on a Saturday. Again, you're not having a lot of international travelers right now because our borders are closed to a lot of countries. Not all countries. We are open to some other countries here in the US, but also other people in their countries are not allowed to travel. So that's definitely, I can tell, reduced the amount of people there in SeaWorld. I've been to SeaWorld before when I was really young, so it's been many years, and I remember it being very packed. So in that sense, it wasn't as packed, I would say, just like the other parks we went to. We did other vlogs on all the Universal parks that we went to, and some other Aquatica and other parks by SeaWorld. And I would say they were all about, I would say SeaWorld was on a Saturday about 20% full, 30%. There were moments in the early morning when we first got there, it seemed almost empty. It was just like us in the whole park to ourselves, which was really nice. No lines, and I really enjoyed that because I hate lines, I hate waiting. So that was really cool. That's definitely a perk about going right now. Everything was very clean. You had to wear your mask when you were inside. As soon as you get there, you have to have your mask on at all times. So, if I take my mask off for a second, it's just to breathe because it's very hot right now. We're in June and July, the summer in Florida. If you're from Florida, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, it gets very hot here. 90s for my Fahrenheit people, 30s for my Celsius people. And sometimes I just need to, put the mask down to talk to you guys because you can't hear me through the mask, or it's just really hot and I can't breathe. It's very humid here in Florida, so if you know what that's like, it's hard to breathe in those masks, but I still wear the mask, especially when I'm around other people. If I took it off for a second during my vlog, it's because I needed to breathe and I make sure I'm not around anybody. I'm definitely 6 feet apart or way more. There was a lot of social distancing, very easy to do because the park was so empty. There was not that many people, so social distancing was easy to do. They had antibacterial all around the park, so you could just go up to the little stations and put antibacterial. Bathrooms were open, so you can go in and wash your hands. All the necessary things you need to be safe were there, were put in place. So I definitely think that it's a good time to go. I think if you want to miss lines, if you don't want to have long waiting times for rides or shows, I think that they did a good job at making sure that they were doing social distancing. People were practicing it, enforcing it. The masks, they were enforcing masks, having the antibacterial. soap all over the park that was easy to access and easy to use. So I would say, as far as safety goes during a pandemic, it was pretty good. Of course, you have to do your part. You have to wear your mask, but they definitely give you gentle reminders if you take it off to make sure you have it on. So they were very on top of it, just like they were in the other theme parks that we went to. You can see my other videos that I did on those to see what that was like. I've also done reviews on those as well. If there's any other questions you have, I'm happy to answer them. There's nothing else that I can think of right now that I need to touch on, but if there's something I missed, if you have any other questions about SeaWorld itself, about the park, about the animals, about my experience, about the pandemic, about what it's like during a pandemic, anything that I didn't mention and you have a question, I love getting your questions. Please feel free to comment below, ask me those questions, and I will be more than happy to answer them to the best of my ability. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to it, and hopefully we will see you soon and you'll be able to enjoy these parks just as we did.